Hey Jude.
While everyone remembers the Beatles and Hey Jude, some incredible tracks have quietly slipped into the shadows. So today we're dusting off 12 groovy 60s gems that deserve their time in the spotlight again. Think of it as a musical treasure hunt, with plenty of stories and surprises to keep things interesting. So grab your tambourine, it doesn't matter what color it is. Tune your air guitar, and let's jump into the top 12 60s songs that you forgot were so awesome. She's Not There, The Zombies, 1964.
Please don't bother trying to find her. She's not there.
The Zombies' debut single, She's Not There, is a haunting masterpiece that showcases the band's unique blend of jazz, blues, and Baroque pop. It was written by the keyboardist, Rod Argent. The song's cryptic lyrics and moody atmosphere tell a story of heartbreak, perfectly delivered by Colin Blunstone's ethereal vocals. Released in 1964, it was an instant hit. It reached number 2 in the US and earned the band international acclaim. The song's truly great. Its jazzy keyboard riffs and syncopated rhythm, it sets it apart from other British invasion tracks.
No one told me about her, though they all knew.
And it helped the Zombies influence future genres like progressive rock and psychedelia. Critics lauded its sophistication, with one reviewer noting it felt like noir set to music. Its success paved the way for the Zombies' later classic album Odyssey and Oracle. Though the band never achieved the commercial fame of the Beatles or the Rolling Stones, their artistry earned them a devoted following, and that's why they are leading off this list. Because She's Not There remains a sleeper hit. Rediscovered by new generations and frequently covered by artists like Santana, who gave it a more funkier twist. It's a reminder of the 60s depth and innovation. And yes, the song absolutely rocks. Let's just pray it doesn't get forgotten. If you like the Zombies and She's Not There, don't forget to hit that thumbs up icon for us. Okay, I'm moving on to number 2. Different Drum, The Stone Poneys, 1967. Different Drum marked Linda Ronstadt's first taste of fame, introducing her effortlessly powerful voice to the world. The song was actually written by Mike Nesmith of the Monkees, and its poignant lyrics explore themes of independence and heartbreak, a refreshing counter to the romantic cliches of the time. Ronstadt's rendition, well, it flipped the gender perspective and turned what was originally written as a man's breakup song into an anthem of female empowerment.
I'm not ready for any person, place, or thing.
The orchestral arrangement, featuring harpsichord and lush strings, it gave it a sophisticated folk pop vibe that resonated with audiences even today, and yes, that's why it's on this list. The song charted at number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100, and it became a signature track for Ronstadt, setting her on a path to superstardom. Different Drum has been hailed as a feminist anthem, with its message of choosing individuality over conforming to societal expectations. Despite it being the Stone Poneys' only major hit, Different Drum remains a timeless classic. It really should be a staple on every 1960s playlist. Critics often cite it as one of the first tracks to showcase Ronstadt's incredible vocal talent. And if you already didn't love Linda, I mean, do you have ears? Or eyes for that matter? Because Linda Ronstadt is a huge part of 60s and 70s folk music. Time Has Come Today, The Chambers Brothers, 1968.
Time has come today. Young hearts can go their way.
So Time Has Come Today is a groundbreaking track that encapsulates the turbulence of the late 60s. The song is an 11-minute odyssey of psychedelic experimentation, punctuated by cowbells, distorted guitars, and echoing, almost screaming vocals that create a sense of urgency and rebellion. You can't really get more cowbell than this one, so I hope Will Ferrell took some notes for his epic More Cowbell sketch from SNL in 2000. This forgotten hit song was written by Joe and Willie Chambers, and the lyrics reflect the civil rights movement and the desire for societal change, capturing the decade's essence. That was 2 of the 4 brothers that put their powers together to create the grooviest group. The track was a hit on the radio, sometimes played in its full-length glory, but the single version cracked the top 20. The Chambers Brothers started out as a gospel group, like so many artists did back then. But over time, they blended blues, soul, and rock to craft a sound that transcended genres. Time Has Come Today also became a symbol of the counterculture movement, often used in films and TV shows to evoke the era's revolutionary spirit. Its impact endures, with countless artists citing its influence on rock, funk, and even early hip-hop. Seriously, listening to this track today feels like stepping into a time machine. It's raw, it's unfiltered, and now unforgettable, hopefully. And sure, the single version may be more palatable for some, but I do suggest listening to that 11-minute journey, lying on your back in a dark room, cause it's a trip for sure. Itchycoo Park, Small Faces, 1967.
Under dreaming spires to Itchycoo Park, that's where I've been.
Itchycoo Park is a whimsical ode to escapism, inspired by real-life parks in East London, where the band spent their carefree days. With its jangly guitars, dreamy harmonies, and innovative phasing effects, the song perfectly encapsulates the British psychedelic movement, which heavily influenced what America was getting into. Released in 1967, it became Small Faces' biggest hit, reaching number 3 on the UK charts and breaking into the US top 20. The song's lyrics was a mix of playful innocence and subtle rebellion, resonating with the youth of the time.
It's all too beautiful.
You know, lyrics like, "You can miss out school, won't that be cool?" It reflected a countercultural spirit that defined the era, even if it was a bit simple. The term Itchycoo reportedly referred to stinging nettles found in the guy's local parks, giving the song a uniquely British charm. Its innovative use of studio effects, including flanging, made it a standout track and a precursor to the sonic experimentation of the late 60s and early 70s. Though often overshadowed by bigger bands of the time, Small Faces earned their place as pioneers of mod and psychedelic music. Itchycoo Park remains a nostalgic anthem for anyone longing to escape into the simple joys of life, especially over the pond. I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night, The Electric Prunes, 1966. I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night is a surreal masterpiece that helped define the burgeoning psychedelic rock genre. Released in late 1966, it opens with a distorted guitar riff that feels like stepping into a dream. Or, maybe a nightmare. Its haunting lyrics and hypnotic melody reflect a longing for love that lingers after waking, blending themes of loss and disorientation. Now, this song was an unexpected hit. It peaked at number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100 and made the Electric Prunes pioneers of garage rock psychedelia. Its success was bolstered by its inclusion on the famous Nuggets compilation album, which celebrated proto-punk and psych rock. The band's use of reverb, fuzz, and unconventional production techniques was way ahead of its time. Critics hailed the track as a triumph of experimentation, and it inspired countless artists who sought to push the boundaries of rock. Although the Electric Prunes never achieved mainstream longevity, this track remains a classic and is their defining moment. It's an enduring testament to the creativity and daring spirit of the 1960s, and for listeners today, it feels like a portal into the decade's experimental heart, where the line between dreams and reality was thrillingly blurred. Hello, I Love You, The Doors, 1968.
Hello, I love you, won't you tell me your name?
Hello, I Love You showcases a lighter, more accessible side of The Doors. It was actually written by Jim Morrison years before the band's formation, and the song was inspired by his fascination with a woman walking along Venice Beach. Its lyrics, a mix of flirtation and obsession, capture Morrison's poetic yet enigmatic style. Musically, the track's driving beat and Ray Manzarek's hypnotic keyboard riff make it irresistibly catchy. It was released in 1968 as a single, and it became The Doors' second #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100, solidifying their status as rock icons. Some critics have pointed out its similarity to the Kinks' All Day and All of the Night, a resemblance that did lead to some controversy. But nevertheless, the Doors' unique flair and Morrison's commanding vocal performance set the track apart. While often overshadowed by darker hits like The End or Riders on the Storm, Hello, I Love You deserves a lot of recognition for its sheer pop brilliance. And it's a reminder that the Doors were more than just a counterculture force. They were a band capable of crafting universally appealing rock anthems. And this one, I just think, gets totally overlooked when looking at the best songs of the 60s. Heck, even just the best songs by the Doors. So give it a listen today and tell me you're not rocking along and hoping she tells him her name. Green Tambourine, The Lemon Pipers, 1967.
Green Tambourine.
Green Tambourine is one of the first successful examples of psychedelic bubblegum pop, blending catchy melodies with experimental sounds. The song tells the story of a busker asking for spare change in exchange for his music, using his, of course, trusty green tambourine.
Drop a dime before I walk away.
Released in late '67, it climbed to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, making the Lemon Pipers pioneers of the genre. The track's sitar-like effects and dreamy atmosphere reflect the influence of Eastern music on 60s psychedelia. It's kinda like the later Beatles in my opinion. But despite its commercial success, the band struggled with being pigeonholed as a bubblegum act, cause they saw themselves as a more serious rock group. However, Green Tambourine remains a fun and infectious tune that perfectly captures the colorful experimental spirit of the 60s. We praise its production, which incorporates innovative techniques like echo chambers and multi-track tambourines. Yes, they better have been green. It is a playful yet sophisticated reminder of a time when pop music just wasn't afraid to get a little weird, and we're all better for it. Spooky, Classics 4, 1967. With its jazzy groove, sultry saxophone, and laid-back vocals, Spooky is a quintessential 60s track that just oozes cool. Originally an instrumental written by saxophonist Mike Shapiro, the song gained its iconic status when James Cobb and Buddy Bowie of Classics 4 added lyrics. When they released it in 1967, it became a top 10 hit, and it earned a reputation as the perfect slow dance song. The lyrics were a mix of playful teasing and romantic tension, which paired perfectly with the hypnotic rhythm. Its jazzy undertones and soft rock vibe set it apart from the louder, more psychedelic tracks dominating the era. It's kinda mesmerizing, actually. Of course, Spooky has been covered by numerous artists, including the Dusty Springfield version and Atlanta Rhythm Section, but the original, I think, remains the definitive version. Its timeless appeal lies in its simplicity and charm. It's a track that feels as fresh today as it did over 50 years ago. Hence it being on this list of the top 12 forgotten classics from the 60s. The song's cool, seductive vibe makes it a standout, and its influence can be felt in genres ranging from soft rock to neo-soul. For anyone rediscovering it now, or just discovering it, Spooky is a reminder that sometimes the quietest tracks leave the deepest impressions. Incense and Peppermints, Strawberry Alarm Clock, 1967.
Incense and peppermints, the color of time.
Few songs encapsulate the psychedelic summer of love as well as Incense and Peppermints. With its swirling organ and layered harmonies, the track captures the free spirit ethos of the late 60s. The band's name alone evokes the whimsical creativity of the decade, and the song became their definitive hit. Released in May 1967, Incense and Peppermints climbed to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, largely due to its infectious melody and kinda trippy vibe. Interestingly, lead vocals were performed by a friend of the band, Greg Munford, rather than a regular member. The producers just felt his voice really fit the track's dreamlike quality better, and yeah, the decision paid off. The lyrics, credited to songwriter John S. Carter Jr., are almost entirely nonsensical but compelling. More like a kaleidoscope of images that reflect the 1960s, embracing ambiguity and experimentation. And at the time, people ate it up because it was both experimental enough for hippies and catchy enough for the mainstream radio. But nowadays, I'm not sure many people have heard this one in decades. Though Strawberry Alarm Clock faded after their one-hit wonder success, Incense and Peppermints remains a quintessential piece of psychedelic rock. Sunny, Bobby Hebb, 1966.
Sonny, you smiled at me and really eased the pain.
Sunny is a track that manages to feel timeless while also rooted in a very specific cultural moment. It was written by Bobby Hebb in response to both a personal tragedy and a worldwide one, drawing from both the murder of his brother and the November 22nd JFK tragedy. He created a light song, one that, although derived from hurt, it actually radiates optimism. Hebb explained that he wanted to create something that brought light and positivity to a dark time. Released in 1966, Sunny became a massive hit. It reached number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and it gained international acclaim. Its soulful groove, smooth vocals, and jazzy undertones made it stand out from other pop hits of the era. And get this, the track has been covered by over 200 artists, including Cher, Stevie Wonder, and Marvin Gaye. But Hebb's original, I think, is still the best. Critics praised its uplifting message and sophisticated arrangement with its blend of jazz, R&B, and pop, appealing to a very, very wide audience. Simultaneously, the song's universal theme of finding hope in adversity, it struck a chord during a very tumultuous decade. Sunny remains one of the 60s most enduring tracks, often cited as one of the greatest songs of all time. However, when's the last time you heard Bobby Hebb on the radio? Yeah, I can't remember either. Its message of resilience and gratitude should still inspire listeners across generations, making it much, much more than just a forgotten gem. Shapes of Things, The Yardbirds, 1966. Shapes of Things is often considered one of the earliest examples of psychedelic rock. It was written by the Yardbirds during their 1966 US tour, and the song blends heavy riffs, introspective lyrics, and innovative guitar effects that were kinda groundbreaking at the time. The track's lyrics actually touched on environmental concerns and societal change, which were, of course, strikingly ahead of their time. Released as a single, it reached number 3 in the UK and number 11 in the US, cementing the Yardbirds as one of the most influential bands of the decade. Guitarist Jeff Beck's performance is absolutely a highlight, featuring distorted feedback and a sustain that influenced countless musicians. We're talking Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page, Jimmy Neutron, I don't know. But seriously, Beck's solo was described by critics as otherworldly, and it remains a very high point in rock history. Shapes of Things wasn't just a commercial success, it was a pivotal movement in the evolution of rock music. It signaled a shift toward more experimental, socially conscious songwriting, making it a template for the burgeoning psychedelic movement. A very important song that I just think many young kids today have never even heard. So, hey, let's change that, shall we? Everybody's Talkin', Harry Nilsson, 1969.
Everybody's talking at me.
We're finishing off this hopefully not completely forgotten playlist with something a bit softer. My personal favorite song by the brilliant Harry Nilsson, Everybody's Talkin'. A song synonymous with longing and escapism, it captured the bittersweet mood of the late 60s. Originally written by folk artist Fred Neil, Harry Nilsson's version became the breakout hit associated with the Oscar-winning film Midnight Cowboy. And if you haven't seen that, I guess that's another video for us to do. The best forgotten films from the 60s. I like that. Nilsson's soaring falsetto and understated acoustic arrangement struck a chord with listeners, and it earned him a Grammy for Best Male Pop Vocal Performance. The track reached number 6 on the Hot 100 and cemented Nilsson's place in music history. This one's so beautiful because while it seems simple, it also resonates with anyone yearning for freedom and solace. The theme of isolation, paired with hope, made it an anthem for a generation seeking escape from societal pressures. Do you remember finding peace from this song? If so, tell us in the comments. Its importance endures, featured in countless films, TV shows, and commercials, but I still don't think it gets enough attention in this millennium. I chose Everybody's Talkin' as a perfect closer for this list, a reminder that even forgotten songs can have a lasting emotional impact. Man oh man, those were 12 awesome forgotten 60s songs. Well, forgotten no more, I guess. So which of these gems took you back to the groovy 60s? What's your personal favorite from our list? Did we introduce you to one that you really don't remember well? And did we forget a fantastic forgotten song from the 60s? Well, please do your part and add it down in the comment section for us all to listen to. Thanks a lot. We appreciate your thoughts and recommendations eternally, and wouldn't be here without you. So hit the thumbs up icon if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a memory. But most importantly, from all of us here at Do You Remember, we want to thank you so much for watching. Peace and love. Bye now.